not going to lie, I almost didn't realise it was Wednesday, but it is Wednesday, so I'm back with another stupid, mildly car-related podcast. Yeah, the big long weekend kind of thrown me of sorts, and I only went back to work today, so I had a full-on 5-day weekend. But yeah, I'm here. I'm going to try and keep it relatively short this week because I rambled on for over 50 minutes last week of utter bollocks. Plus, not a whole lot's really happened in the week. Not much car-related jazz, or there wasn't even any much notable motorsport. But also, I'm going for a family dinner later on this evening because my niece / goddaughter has turned 13, which is mad to say out loud. She's probably the first person I've known from birth to teenager. So to keep this car relevant, I looked up cars that were released the year she was born, which would have been 2010. Which again, when you look this thing up, this will made me feel old. So I'm sure it'll make any of you feel old too. We have the Audi A1, the Audi A7, the Dacia Duster, the Lexus LFA, the Mercedes AMG SLS, the Nissan Juke, and the Nissan Leaf. All of those were released 13 years ago. Which is just utterly depressing. As I said, it was a pretty quiet week for me, car related. I still haven't bought a car, simply because I haven't found anything worth buying. Certainly nothing that isn't outrageously overpriced anyway, which is starting to annoy me because I miss the freedom of having a car. I shouldn't have sold 2 of the cars I had when I did, but I didn't realise the market was going to absolutely shit the bed over the last couple of years. So hindsight's 2020 and all that. But yeah, in time, I'm sure the right thing will show up. I'm just I'm letting fate do its thing. And I'm just a pedantic, miserable bastard. I did see a few nice things though, I suppose, over the last week. I'm sure if you're listening to this, I'm sure you're fully aware of Dave Humphreys and the fact that he had a Polestar 1 over the weekend on loan. I assume he didn't buy it. So I saw that knocking around a couple of times. Beautiful car. I'm going to say it's definitely up there as the best looking car of the 21st century. It's one of the best anyway. Car design's been pretty iffy in the modern era, but that one they got spot on. It's not actually as big in real life as I thought. Coincidentally enough, as I'm sure you probably saw, Chris Harris put up a video because he owns one, he bought one. Apparently it's the only one that was being sold in the UK. Apparently there's only 3 UK registered cars. One of them being the press car, or it's probably 2 press cars, and one of them was the one Dave had because it was on UK plates. But he did kind of a I've had it for a few months review, Chris Harris, and he's not a tall man, and even he was saying he didn't have massive amount of headroom in the Polestar 1, which is odd because I said it's not as gigantic as I thought it would be, having seen one in real life. It's not a small car, but he's a small man, and he wasn't exactly swimming with space. So that was definitely something I would take into consideration if I was to ever own one, which I never will, because they're 150 grand. I'm pretty sure they're all sold out because I think they only made 1,500 of them, and there's fuck all registered in the UK, and I don't think there's any registered in Ireland. What else did I see? So a beautiful Pagoda SL, an Irish registered SL, in a cream colour, and then the removable hardtop was in a contrasting red, which is a very interesting colour combo. Must be horsey people, because I had a pewter horse glued to the front bulkhead, which looked terrible. I don't know why people. I know it's a different generation thing, sticking ornaments to the front of cars, but sure, whatever. As I said, they must be into horses. Each to their own. I wouldn't beguile is beguile the right word? I don't know. I wouldn't befoul the front of such a pretty car with a piece of horse steel. I also saw a left-hand drive Irish registered E36 328i saloon. Is that interesting? To me it was. Same day I also saw a blue British Leyland Sherpa van, which is something I've never seen in real life because most of them are dissolved or blown up. There wasn't many in Ireland to begin with, although there probably was in the day, because Percy Place there used to be the home of the Irish home of British Leyland. Sorry, excuse me, I'm burping. But yeah, it was a camper Sherpa van, but I'm not sure what colour it was originally, but the current owner decided to give it a new paint scheme in a lovely kind of sky blue, but the paint job was definitely done with a tin of emulsion and a paintbrush, because when you get up close it certainly shows, but a nice thing to see all the same. Oh yeah, and then another thing I saw, I went to Kilkenny one of the days last week. Was it Good Friday? Can't quite remember. The days are all mixing into one. But I was in an underground car park in the town, and when I say underground, it was a multi-story. I was on ground level. A white 964 Cabriolet manual right-hand drive, parked up, and it looks like it's been parked up for quite a while because it's incredibly dusty, mouldy roof, and the inside had that lovely furry, mouldy leather steering wheel you get when a car's been sitting up for an amount of time. The thing is though, all its discs were up to date. Had an NCT until 24 sometime. But the tax was just out, but it was insured and everything. And it's a public car park, so I don't know. There's a story there for sure. All of these things are up on my Instagram. Again, car_no-sore, if you want to check that out. Which, if you're listening to this, if you're one of the 3 people listening to this, 2 of them being me, you probably already follow me on Instagram anyway. Motoring news. I'm not going to talk about this too much because it's just god awful. But if you haven't seen it, Google the BMW XM label red. I'm not going to say too much about it because it's awful. It's just awful. I'm going to let you look it up yourself and piss yourself off. It's a big giant electric SUV with too much power. It's too big. It's god awful ugly. I'm not even having to go at it for being an EV or anything like that. It's just, even if it was combustion engine, this thing would be terrible. But if you haven't seen it, give that a Google. Again, BMW XM label red. We're so past the peak. It's upsetting. Then a car that we won't get on this part of the world, Honda, or Acura to be more accurate, sorry, have released the Acura Integra Type S, which I think is a good looking car. The new Acura, even if it is, or the new Acura, the new Integra, even if it is no longer is a lightweight coupe, which we know and love from DC2, DC5 days. But the Acura Type S is an interesting car because it has the completely identical drivetrain to the current Civic Type R. Same engine, same power output, same suspension, has the diff, same gearbox, everything. And it weighs, I think, about the same as the Civic Type R. And it's much more subtle than the Type R as well. Unfortunately, I say we're not getting it on this in Europe, but a cool car. So all the joys of the Civic Type R, but a more understated and, dare I say it, a better looking package. By the fact it's got 3 exhausts coming at the back, which is so necessary in a 4-cylinder car. But there you go. There's that. I mentioned those that company whose name now escapes me. What's the name of the company? That company that makes the those new body shell Mark 1 and Mark 2 Escorts. What the fuck is the name of the company again? Is it RSA or... Oh, God, I'm terrible. But no, I mentioned the other week that the company is now doing new Metro 6R4 MST. That's the name of the company. Metro 6R4s with twin turbo Audi V6s, and they announced the pricing because obviously like a genuine 6R4 is an expensive vehicle these days if you can find one. So it's £295,000 sterling, which obviously is a lot of money, but it, you know, if you're buying one of these things, one, you've probably got a lot of money anyway, and two, it's not exactly a necessity. It would most certainly be a frivolity. So price probably isn't even a factor for anyone buying one of these. Not that makes much difference, because when I read about the pricing several days ago, at that point there was only 2 left. So yeah, you'd want to be quick if you want one of those. Actually, I'd say you're probably too late. But yeah, cool thing. I look forward to seeing them. Hopefully, Johnny Smith seems to have a very good relationship with those MST crowd. He's made a couple of videos with them. So I'm sure he'll get his hands on one of these 604s when they have a rolling production ready, or even a prototype development car. I'm sure he'll get his hands on it and let us know what it's all about and all that. Something about a golf. What about golf? Oh yeah, VW have announced that the golf is going to be no more after the Mark 8. There will be an ID3, but there won't be a Golf alongside it or anything like that, or they're not going to rename the ID car the Golf. Although I bet you they're going to go back on that and they'll get rid of the ID name and then there'll just be an EV Golf. But as we stand, the Golf name is not long for the world, which seems like an odd move, but as I said, I think they're going to backtrack on that. Speaking of electric vehicles, Mini have also shown the new EV Mini, which is coming next year. So it'll be the first ground up EV Mini, because the current one is based on the combustion platform converted to an EV. This will be a ground up EV. So it looks like if a Mini had sex with the current 500e, the Fiat 500, electric Fiat 500, it looks like a Mini, but because drag coefficient and aerodynamics is so key to range on an electric vehicle, it's got a very rounded, smooth face on it. I think they're claiming 210 mile range, which isn't great, but looking at electric Mini as a city car with that kind of range, what more do you need, really? And then other new car news, MG. Well, there's been leaked pictures from some sort of Chinese copyright files or whatever. Anyway, the MG Cyberster. So this is going to be the MG electric sports car. So yeah, there's a couple of pictures leaked of it. Looks kind of cool, I must admit. It kind of looks like if an MX-5 was mid-engined, even though there's obviously going to be no engine in this at all, but they're using the fact that there was no engine to kind of have a cab forward look to it. And then the rear end, actually, coincidentally enough, looks like it's very like the rear end of the Polestar 1, kind of angular rear end on it. Good looking car. And MG, apparently the MG4 is a great electric vehicle. So best of luck to MG with this sports car. Like, we still haven't really got a proper electric sports car yet. I know there's the original Tesla Roadster, but that's so long ago now that it's irrelevant. Have we had anything? No, we haven't really had anything. Porsche are obviously going to come along with the Cayman and the Boxster soon enough. There's a few in the pipeline, but this MG being one of them. So it'd be interesting to see if manufacturers are going to entice us nerds who grew up on the combustion engine, if they can make an electric vehicle that tickles our ghoulies. Or, you know, for those people who don't have ghoulies, you like cars too. Yeah, that's really much it. I was saying it's been a very quiet week. It's been a very quiet week all around for me, for the motoring world at large. So yeah, that's really. And then motorsport, yeah, there wasn't any significant motorsport the weekend just gone, which is a shame because was such a long weekend and the weather was shit. I wouldn't mind sitting in watching something. I came so close to buying a PlayStation and Gran Turismo and a steering wheel, the whole shebang. Thankfully I didn't, because if I got one of those, that's it, game over. I would do nothing with my life. So close. I might still end up doing it at some point. Just the fact that I don't have a car at the moment. Just need some sort of, I'm insured on my mother's car, but it's a previous generation CVT gearboxed Nissan Micra, and it's just fucking awful. I need something with 3 pedals, and just a little bit of character. And when, like, if someone has something genuinely interesting, I'm willing to pay up to about $5,000 on something. I know everyone's going to say, get a car loan. I hate borrowing money. I just, like, it doesn't have to be anything particularly fancy. I just need something with a little bit of character, 3 pedals. That's all I need. It doesn't, come at me. If you have something, come at me. Slide into my DMs. You're more than welcome. But yeah, so there's no major motorsport this weekend coming. We have the MotoGP at the Circuit of the Americas. My fellow podcaster Bill Burr, I know he's going to it. He's into the MotoGP. He's also into Formula 1 as well. He's kind of dropped the ball on that. He's very excited about going to it. He's a bit of a Marquez fan, but unfortunately, Mark Marquez isn't going to be at Circuit of the Americas. It's the second race now he's going to miss due to injury. But the Circuit of the Americas is a great track. It's probably one of the better modern tracks. It's great for Formula 1. It's great for any motorsport that they have at it. WEC, MotoGP. So I'm going to try and catch that over the weekend. I don't know if Oliveira, who was involved in the accident with Marc Marquez in the opening round was in Portugal. I'm not sure if he's going to be back. But we'll see how it goes. Obviously, Bezzecchi, he won for Valentino Rossi's team. They're in Argentina last round. So yeah, we'll see. MotoGP is great racing. If you don't watch MotoGP, check it out this weekend. If it's on in America, it'll probably be a decent enough start time. It'll probably be on maybe 5 or 6 o'clock in the afternoon. Again, I should check this stuff. Our time, local time, GMT, Greenwich Mean Time. Fuck the Brits. Yeah, and then what other motorsport? Also this weekend is round 2, if you don't include the prologue, of the World Endurance Championship. That's in Portimao. 6 hours of Portimao, I believe. And there's no WRC is the following weekend. Rally Croatia, if I'm not mistaken. And we don't have Formula 1 until the end of the month in Baku. Yeah, we'll see how fun. The thing, one of the problems with the popularity of Formula 1, the increased popularity of Formula 1, is like there's always been the on-track action in Formula 1 and there's always the off-track action. There's politics and the engineering side and drama, etc. But my God, are we oversaturated with the narratives that are going on off-track? Like, I frequent the Formula 1 subreddit quite often, and the amount of just different little shitty narratives that are being a paid Formula 1 journalist must be the easiest job in the world. The amount of headlines and stories websites manage to get out of, like, Beyond the Grid, the official Formula 1 podcast, they will take 2 lines from that and spin it into 15 stories, misquoting people for a clickbait headline. I must say, like, look, as I said before, I'm a dyed-in-the-wool Formula 1 fan. I will continue to watch it while it exists. But my God, even I'm starting to get a little bit fatigued with the bullshit that's going on in Formula 1 these days. But I think the last race was quite entertaining, and I will continue to watch it. As if they keep racing, I'll keep watching. But I won't talk too much more about Formula 1 because, as I said, there's no more Formula 1 until the end of the month. So that's the motorsport news. How long have I been rambling on for? Under 20 minutes, so we might get it to well under half an hour this week. I'll get into my rundowns of things. Before I get into my classified find of the week, did you see this? There's a Golf 4 for sale via Joe Duffy Volkswagen. Is it Joe Duffy Volkswagen? Or is it Frank Keane? Frank Keane Volkswagen. Whoever, the one out there in Liffey Valley. They have, if you want to see it for yourself, just go into Dundee or one of the other, I'm sure it's on all the Irish classifieds, and just search Volkswagen Golf and put minimum price down at 90,000 euro. They have a Golf 4, which is fully spec. The whole ad's in fucking capital letters, which fuck off. It's 100 grand essentially. I think it's 97,097 euro or something ridiculous like that. Now it's it's fully spec'd. That's your Krapovich exhaust, which I think is 5 grand in itself, and then every other bit of flim flam you can throw at a Golf. But that's just, I know everything's more expensive these days, but 100 grand for a Golf, which I know it's a Golf essentially with, mid-90s, early millennium supercar performance, but it's still a Golf. I know no one's paying sticker price, it's PCP, it's finance, whatever. But I don't know, what world are we living in where you can spend 100 grand on a Volkswagen Golf? And I thought, did they get that wrong? But then I looked up, the entry level price for a Golf 4 in this country is about 88 grand, which is just bananas. Where did it all go wrong? Seriously, where did it all go wrong? Speaking of other batch, I think a car I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, the 40 grand Evo 7 that was up on Dundee. The seller's slowly but surely dropping the price down out to 36 grand, which I still think is ludicrous. Well, speaking of Evos, I'm currently in the midst of watching Better Call Saul. I'm a big Breaking Bad fan, and I just never got around to Better Call Saul. I think I started it a couple of times, but the first season is slow. Good, now that I've watched the whole thing, but it is very much gathering pace now. But anyway, whatever about the show. The show was good. Lots of interesting cars. Saul himself drives a Suzuki Esteem, but there is a character in it called Ernesto, or Ernie as they call him for short. He's kind of he works in the mail room of one of the law firms, and he's kind of like a personal assistant kind of thing. Now they don't explain why or really mention it. Maybe they don't, maybe they do. So I haven't completed it yet. But Ernie drives a blue Evo 8 in it, which is interesting. Surely it's not there by accident. I wonder, will they explain why, or is there a reasoning as to why Ernie drives an Evo 8? Maybe there isn't. Maybe that's just the way things are. Nice to see. Anyway, so my classified find of the week this week is a car that some people will think isn't interesting at all, but it's just one of those ones that tickles my ghoulies, again, for want of a better word. It's a 1989 Renault 19, silver, 2-door, just a 1.4 manual, but it's got 26,000 miles in it, and it looks like it's just rolled off the production line. It's NCT'd until the end of August. 4 grand, and again, I think in this current market, for the condition it's in, if it is as it looks in the pictures, I don't think that's a bad price. I'll consider 4 grand. I know it's not the most. Look, this will be perfect. You might even, if it's as good as it looks, this could be an award-winning car for the Festival of the Unexceptional. That's how good it is. Again, aren't many Renault 19s on Dundee. If you want to find it, you'll find it pretty easily. It's in Carlow. Again, a car I should probably go and buy myself. Although I've tried getting quotes on modern classics. I know it's not impossible to do, but I found it difficult. I tried to get a quote on it. I think was it a 95 or 96 Peugeot 306, again just a 1.4 Peugeot 306, and no one would give me a quote. A friend of mine has actually it was a car I owned briefly as well, a 19, is it 19? I don't really know. It's 91 Polo Fox. Was off the road there for a couple of years, and my mates he got new tyres for it, gave it a full recommissioning to get it back going again because it was off the road for a few years. Tried to get a quote on it, and pretty much everyone he tried, and this guy used to work in insurance, so everyone he tried said they don't consider polos classics of any generation, so couldn't get a policy on it. That's Ireland for you in a nutshell, really, isn't it? So yeah, I should probably, again, another car that I've recommended, I should probably investigate this myself, but I'm too scared that I won't get insured in it, and I'm lazy. So yeah, those are my reasons. My YouTube channel I'm going to recommend this week is a one called Exorb 1A. I don't really know exactly how you pronounce it. Is it Exorba? Anyway, it's spelled Echo X-ray Umbrella. I used to know the phonetic alphabet better than this. Echo X-ray Uniform Romeo Bravo, the number 1, A for Alpha, Exorb 1A. He's a writer, and he's written a few books, but his YouTube channel is the tagline on it is "Existence is terrifying." Essentially, he makes these science, space, physics, existential videos, but they're quite funny. Again, the tagline is "Existence is terrifying, universe is weird, yo." His videos are brilliant. He puts a lot of work into them. They're animated, kind of, I suppose how you'd put it. He's a funny bloke, and his videos are brilliant. There's no point in me trying to explain any further than that. You just have to watch his videos to really get a flavour of it. You'll either love it or you'll hate it. I personally love it. Something a bit different. There you go. That's that. And then finally, my song. It's more of an album I'm promoting this week, because I've recommended a couple of the singles off it already. Well, I think I recommended at least one of the singles off it before its release. It's from Daughter. The name of the album is Stereo Mind Game. It's their latest album. I received it myself on vinyl, limited edition green vinyl. It's fantastic. It's another smash hit from indie trio Daughter, British UK indie trio Daughter. If you want one track to listen to just to get a flavour, Future Lovers. It's a track from smack bang in the middle of the album. But yeah, check out the whole album if you want. But if you just want one track for my track of the week, Future Lovers by Daughter. And again, the album name is Stereo Mind Game. I'm going to shut up now because I think I'm approaching the half an hour mark. 28 minutes. So yeah, enjoy the rest of your week and your weekend. Thank you for listening. If you have, I love you. Be safe, be well. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.